Okay, so I gotta look like crap because I woke up, well, I woke up like an hour and 50 minutes ago, but I still think I look like crap because I haven't really moved much. And summer break, leave me alone. So the reason why you should watch Buffy is because it's the most amazing show in the world, and because okay, and because you just should. And because even though there's demons in it and there's craziness and all of that stuff, and you'd be like, hey, look, there's just another show about demons. No, it's not. Like, it has all of the normal, like, it has all of, like, normal life stuff and all these crazy metaphors. You fall so much in love with them. Like, Willow and Tara should just be a good enough reason for you to watch Buffy. Because you fall in love with them. Because here's this girl who's really shy, and she is just so adorable, and she doesn't really have a friend. She's a loner, and I can completely relate to that because of my 8th grade year. But anyway, like, she's such a little loner, and you're just kind of like, aw, come on here, chill. And then, they meet because Willow says something, and yeah, they meet through magic, but oh well. Willow says something, and she's like, well, we're a Wicca group, shouldn't we actually do real spells? And Tara looks up, and she's about to say something, and they have this little cute smiling moment. Well, she gets all nervous and looks down, and Willow, and because they're in that Wicca group, and Willow kind of smiles at her, but I don't think she notices, because I think she's looking down. But, so they end up running, and, oh, sorry, I skipped the whole part. Well, okay, so, Willow's like, well, there's no actual Wiccas in my Wicca group, and then, they're talking, and then there's this whole bad thing where all their voices get stolen, which they got an award for that, but they get all of their voices stolen, and they can't talk, and Willow is in a room or whatever, and Tara's like, well, maybe you can do a spell, except she doesn't really say that. She thinks that, and so she looks up Willow's thing, and she looks up Willow's, college dorm number and her address and stuff, and she goes over, but while she's going, she gets attacked. She gets attacked by these people, and she goes and she runs, and she's running, or by the crazy thing that stole her voice, that not those kind of people, okay. And she runs, and she's running, and, is this thing a song? Yeah, okay, song. And she's running, and she trips, she keeps knocking on everyone's door, and she's trying to get someone to help her, but she can't scream, because she has no voice. So she keeps running, and she keeps running, and then she runs into Willow, because Willow comes out to see what it is, because, she's like, oh, I can help her, I'm a Slayer's friend, and she doesn't really say that, though. And she runs, and she's running, and then she bumps into Willow, and then, Willow hurts her leg, and then they're like, oh, we have to run, there's people. So they run, and they get into, I think it's a laundry room, but I don't know, it has a cook machine, and then they're trying to move the cook machine over, but they can't, and so they use magic, and they get the magic, no, what happens is Willow's trying to use magic to move the machine, but she can't, because she's not strong enough, and then Tara grabs her hand, and they look at it, and the machine goes whoosh into the thing, and so they hold hands, and it's really cute, because of the way they hold hands, it's like, ooh, like they hold hands, and... And then the machine goes whoosh, and then that's when you first figure out that there's something between them, even though you don't really know, because they didn't even say anything until like the end of the 4th season, which is when they started doing stuff. And then Oz comes back, and it's so cute, it's so cute, it's so cute. Okay, Oz comes back, and he's like, well, Oz is her past boyfriend, and they used to be together, and then he kind of broke her heart because he's really a werewolf, and he needed to control the whole situation, and he comes back, and he controlled the whole situation. But, Willow's like, holy crap, the love of my life just came back into my life. He came back. And then, but Willow and Tara are kind of in love, even though none of them have admit it yet. And then, so they go out to lunch, they go to breakfast, and then Buffy comes back later and asks how everything was. And they realize, Oz took control of his whole werewolf situation, and it was a full moon, and he didn't change. And Buffy's like, well, what's the problem? She's like, well, because Tara, and she's like, Tara has a crush on Oz? And she makes a face, she's like, no. And then she goes, oh, well, that's great, Will. And, they just have this whole conversation about how she's kind of freaking out, but then she knows she stops freaking out, and then, and then it's really cute, and she later goes to Tara, and this part made me cry last time I watched it, because I hadn't watched it in forever, and I started crying, and Willow goes, or no, she's basically talking about how she's so confused because, you know, life was getting so great, and then all of a sudden the one thing she wanted more in her life comes back, and she's not sure she wants that thing anymore. And they're talking, and, you know, Tara's all nervous because she's not a good talker. I can relate to that, too. And she's like, she's like, you know, we'll always still be friends. And Willow's like, of course we'll be friends. There's no question to that. And that's when she says the whole thing about life getting so good. And a big part of that was because of Tara. That she says that. A big part of that was because of the thing that makes me cry is that she's just kind of like, well, I don't know what to do. And then the music is all dramatic and depressing, and Tara goes, you have to do what makes you happy. And then they hug, and it's all dramatic. And it's just kind of like, oh, Tara would do that for someone that she really loves. And it makes me happy. And then later, the power goes out because they had to save Oz, because the initiative, which I'm not going to try and explain the initiative to you, because the initiative, because then it's just weird. She goes over to Tara's dorm, and she's like, no candles? Well, I have one. It's extra flamey, and it's so adorable. Ah! And then she goes, and they start talking, and, you know, Tara's like, well, I know, you have to be with the one you love. And Willow goes, I am. And you're like, yay! Yay! And then you get all happy, and you're like extra smiley. And they have this whole conversation, and then she goes, I know it's hard, but I'm gonna make it up to you. And she goes, I'm gonna make it up to you starting right now. And she goes, right now? And then she blows up the candle, and it's so adorable. In the 5th season, she's, it went from me telling you why you should watch Buffy to me talking about Willow and Tara because they're so freaking adorable. And, forgot what I was saying. Oh, in the 5th season, it's really goes, he's talking about how, you know, well, a girl like that, she's not gonna have, be without a date for very long. And Willow goes, definitely not. And Tara gives this look like, oh, what? And she goes, oh, not me. I just meant, you know, pretty girl like that. And, you know, they keep cutting back to Tara, giving her these looks like, what? And it's just the cutest thing, and it's the funniest thing in the world. It's adorable. She goes, you know, Giles is like, are you certain she was a robot? And Buffy says, absolutely. And Tara goes, and then Tara says, well, she practically had genuine molded plastic stamped on her ass. And everyone looks at her funny, and she's like, just trying a little spicy talk. And then, so that's her birthday, and Dawn made this wish that, you know, everyone would just stop believing her. So this vengeance demon who grants wishes basically made them all get locked up in the house, and this demon gets set out that Buffy had captured, but it was really just in the sword. It was captured in the sword because she stabbed it with her own sword, and then Buffy ends up killing it. But anyway, basically Anya's all freaking out, and she's like, well, there's a very powerful witch here, much more powerful than you, Tara. Sorry. And she just basically starts yelling at Willow, and she's like, no, not you can't, because Willow won't do it because she can't use magic, or she's afraid she won't stop. And Anya's like, no, not can't, won't. And she just keeps yelling at her. And then Tara goes, hey! And she starts yelling at her. She's like, she says, you're not going to make her do something that she doesn't want to do. And if you try, you're going to have to go through me. And you're like, yay! They're going to knock you again, and yay! Anyway. and it is. It's really cute. Like, you should start to watch the show. But you have to watch it from the beginning because you have to fall in love with the show, not just Willow and Tara. Because I'm not just in love with Willow and Tara, I'm in love with the entire show. Like, look at that. Look at that. She's sticking her tongue out. Anyway. I think I'm just going to stop now. I think this is my time to end. Because I've probably talked for the longest time just about Willow and Tara, and you're going to be like, God, this person's a freak. No, you won't, because I know you're not like that. But hopefully this helped you find out if I have an accent or not. I'm pretty positive this is just me talking normally, because I got so into me talking that I just kind of talked. So hopefully this helps you figure out what kind of accent I have, and you're not too... No, I know you won't be. You're too cool for that, I hope. Okay, but anyway, yeah, this is the end. Yay! Yay! Bye.